folks. So normally there'd be an intro, and I told Skillshy I was going to sing the intro, and then I decided I didn't want to do that at the last second. But he's not here this week, so I got my good, close, personal friend King Curtis, who is with us.
Hello, cast.
She's on the Discord, so you can say hello there in the future when you're listening to this, which will be like tomorrow.
Yes, I get on the Discord
Very
about once every
yeah.
6 or 7 months. So you can find me there on
This will be some
April 15th for Coach's birthday.
For all the people who are in the Discord all the time, they'll be like, "Who is this person who's been here the whole time?" Yes. How have you been? Even though we've been talking in the pre-show about various things.
I've been good. Yeah, I just got back from the beach. Nice little family vacation with the boy's family.
Nice.
And that was good. A little stressful, of course, spending any time with
not in-laws, but
yeah, practically
yeah.
in-laws is terrible, but most of his family is really awesome, and I like them a lot, so it was nice.
Have any of them committed any
little
crimes?
drink. They used to commit so many crimes there.
Really? Did they actually?
No, they actually did. Back when they were younger, they were big on setting fireworks off in like the middle of there's a pool, like I think it's the biggest pool in Texas or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is a massive pool, but they go in the middle of this pool, set off fireworks, put detergent in the hot tub, and do all kinds of stuff. And I mean, they did a little smoky smoke of
Ooh. That's not
of
good.
only tobacco, of course.
Speaking of which, somebody doing a little smoky smoke of not tobacco, honorary bad boy, who's not the main bad boy for this week, as if you can read the title of the episode, should be obvious. But honorary bad boy Alex Caruso of the Lakers.
Oh. I
for
did
no
see
reason
that,
in particular, I'm bringing this up. He got caught with the marijuana. Very sad. In Texas.
You hate to hear that, you know. Poor Tony. I mean.
Well, I don't think that's his name.
Oh, no, it is. That is his name. Yeah.
Really?
No, that's absolutely his name. No, of course it's not.
I was like, I mean, for no reason in particular, that would be interesting.
Every Italian person is named Tony, though, right?
Yeah,
so you would know as an Italian.
As an Italian, I would know that. Other than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. You want to hear the stupid thing that I did, which is why I was like 4 minutes late to our agreed upon time.
Oh, I mean, you're going to tell me no matter what, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I would love to know.
My katana that I have, this is so fucking stupid. The katana that I have is like super fucked up. There's like a little metal thing on the containery part, so it's loose. So I was like, I'm gonna super glue it, and the super glue was all clogged up. So I was like, well, if I just squeeze harder on it, it'll eventually come out like normal. And then it didn't do that, and it exploded out. It got all over my arm and leg, and hurts real bad.
What do you do in that situation? Is there anti-super glue? Can you
put it's just more nail polish remover? But like I now have like little burns on my knee from where it dried.
From like ripping it off, or
no, not even from
just
ripping
from
it off.
It drying.
Just from it drying there, yeah. It's
wow.
Like it's not as bad on my arm, but I got the most of it on my leg, and it's so crunchy and like solidified that it, like, because I was sitting when it happened, like if I straighten out my leg when I'm like standing, it hurts. So I'm gonna take a shower after this and hope that does something.
Well, do you have nail polish remover?
No.
You gotta call up Jeff Bezos and get him to deliver. 2-hour delivery, Amazon. paid advertisement.
I'm not gonna do that. Well, actually, I think I still have the nail polish remover that you let me borrow one time at work, so I
Was
might
that my
use that.
gift to you? My parting gift?
I don't think it was, but we can say that it was. So maybe I'll just do that. And oh, I'm gonna be at work at. I'm getting up at 5 tomorrow to get to work.
Why?
Well, because I have to get something done by the end of the day, or else my project manager will be grumpy with me, who already is very grumpy with me.
Mm. Let's tell me more about this project manager that you work with.
Um, well, recently, okay, so backstory for the fans. Uh, you and I used to work together, and we still technically work at the same
We
company,
I was gonna say, well, we still work at the same place,
but you like aren't
yeah.
at the office anymore, and we're not on the same team anymore. But that used to not be the case. But that's irrelevant for the point of the story. It's just a
Even
little
then,
lore.
did we even really
Not really.
work
Even when I
together?
was on cat
Because
or when I was on something for, I was on your team for a certain amount of time. I was not working with you.
yeah, we
Yeah.
really only just, our time together was spent getting water, which is a very important job, staying
Yeah.
hydrated.
And that one
And
time
fun
when we went
committee.
through fun committee, which is it's been well, whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Anyway, my project manager. So I don't think she likes me too much, which I can't imagine why. Although this time, normally I could imagine why because I used to be a bit of a shithead, but I'm not one anymore.
Change your ways. You've switched teams,
I
switched
switched teams and
attitudes.
I became a good boy and like
Really,
lads.
it really is true. I mean, you were the bad boy. I mean, they even told me not to associate with you because you
Yeah,
were such a bad boy. True story, folks. True
yeah,
story.
and that's why that's what the name of the podcast comes from. Actually, um, no, but yeah, no. So earlier this week, my project manager emailed me about this thing I was supposed to like that she was reviewing, and she was like, "Hey, can you pull this stuff for it off their system and like add this thing to the write up?" And I'm like, "Okay." Like I've never looked at this before. Like I don't like sure, but whatever. Like you're asking me to do it, so I'll do it. I didn't really think much about it. And like 2 days later, she's like, "Hey, can I call you?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then she's like talking to me about this case, and she's like, "I think we need to change this because like I don't agree with like this decision that was made here." And
Hmm.
like, I was like, "Oh, she thinks I reviewed this," and it's like I reviewed it because like I'm supposed to review someone else's work, and then she's supposed to review my work.
Yeah.
So she thought that I had looked at this thing already and was reviewing it like it had already gone through like me looking at
A,
it.
a first review. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And so she thinks like I am the biggest idiot because it's like all completely screwed up you know, because I hadn't reviewed it yet because the person who originally did it didn't do a good job. Um,
and why did she think that you had already reviewed it?
because well, and that's the thing. So there's ways of checking that. There's like in the system thing that we use. There's like a history tab that you can click through and see everybody who's touched it
Mm.
and like pretty thorough like what changes were made where and stuff. And there's also I also have a little tracker that I put everything that I review so you can see where it is.
And
And
she just did not look at
didn't look at
any
any
of
of
these
it. And
things.
her first thought was like, "Oh, clearly he's the biggest idiot on the planet."
Mm-hmm.
And so like
I
during
mean,
like
I assume you got an email saying, "Coach, biggest idiot on the planet. How dare you
I mean,
do such a poor job on this review?"
well, like here's the thing at work though, they can't say that, right? They have to like do the passive aggressive like nice way of like saying you're an like they can't just go, "Hey, you're an idiot," like you're a fuck up. Like they can't say that unless you like seriously screwed up, which doesn't really happen. And they have to be like, well, like, together I think we should do this, and like these are some changes that like I think we should make, but like what do you think? Like, and it doesn't matter what I think, obviously. Like if I was the one
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
screwing it up, like I'm just supposed to do it. But like I was like I realized what she had done, like the mistake she made before she did. So I was like, well, like I've never looked at this case before, but like if you're asking me for a second opinion, like this is what I think. Like I agree with you. Like this should be this. I don't know why it wasn't like this, And then she's like, oh, like you didn't actually do this, did you? I'm like, no.
Did you track my,
But
or
she's
did you
like,
check my tracking sheet?
she
Did you
had
look at
2 days
any of
to
the?
figure it out. She had 2 days to go, well, maybe he's not the biggest dumbass on the planet. I could check very easily. And she did. And I'm still mad about it.
I mean, yeah, I'm just confused why she even started the review of it unless you sent some kind of correspondence or somebody first. Was it the prepare? Did they send an email and saying, hey,
No, like,
I'm
because
done?
basically what we do is we have like a bunch of trackers because we're apparently not allowed to like ask people to email us when we're done with stuff when they're done with stuff anymore. So like none of the preparers can like send me an email at the end of the day, send me, hey, I worked on this, 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 and this. We
I
used
mean,
to
it's
ask
kind of
them to do that.
unnecessary.
It is
It's totally
unnecessary,
unnecessary.
but some people, it's helpful to know.
Clearly, in this situation,
Yeah.
all of your tracking, I mean, it wasn't foolproof
Well, I have
because
a thing where it's like first review tracker, and it's just I put down all the IDs of all the like things I'm looking at, and I say this is what I found, this is the date I did it, you know, and then like I have a section for notes where I'll type little notes about what I think each thing is, right? Like pretty clear, pretty crystal clear. You should just be going. If you were my project manager reviewing the stuff I worked on, I would assume what you would do as a reasonable person would be I'm going to go through that tracker and review those things.
yeah,
Because
no, absolutely. That's what
if,
I do every day on one of my
yeah, because I
projects
assume you're
is
reviewing other people's stuff, right? Like, I'm not
yeah.
going to go through, I mean, the way that I go through it's not the same. So I can't like use the same analogy, but like, I wouldn't like look at something that clearly says it's in process and be like, well, why did you do it this way? And they'd be like, well, because it's not done yet. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm an idiot for thinking that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it doesn't say ready for review, then I'm not looking
Yeah,
at it.
exactly. And so it's
It
just
is
it's
saved for
very,
another day.
yeah. And if like I didn't get a chance to review something for whatever reason, like, and you want to yell at me about that, fine. Like we're not like numbers wise, it's not an issue. And
Well, it doesn't seem like you you got yelled at or
no, but
where does you were doing noble things. Where does the ignoble
the
piece
ignoble
come
thing was
in?
that, um, well, the tones of the emails weren't very nice.
Oh, the tones. Mm.
I mean, a lot of this is me
The
being overly.
punctuation, there were no
Yeah,
exclamation
yeah,
points. There was just
exactly.
a
It was
thank
very
you period.
well, like, because yeah, I mean, basically, not even it's just yeah, stuff like that, which is me
I would
being
read
overly
into it
sensitive.
too.
But
Yeah.
like, you can tell if somebody's like nice all the time and then like really curt the other times. Is that the right use? Like, short
Oh,
to the point.
Kurt.
Yeah,
Kurt. Yeah,
curt,
I
not
thought
like
you said hurt at first, and I was just like, what did you do to hurt this poor woman's feelings? How dare
well,
you
that's
not review this in time?
yeah. Well, she was like telling, she's like, actually, I want you to work on this other thing instead of doing reviews, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, a bit of a
So
punishment?
no, no, no. This was before, like, so it's like I was doing, like, I was going through this one person's old stuff that I hadn't gotten around to
Hmm.
before, which this thing that she was looking at would have been in that list of things. And then she's like, actually change gears and work on this other thing before I had a chance to, like, go back to the thing I skipped over that she then thought I reviewed, which I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just annoying. It's annoying that she thought I was that stupid, and like she did not think to just check like anything.
See, I think
If I'm being
you're
overly
putting
sensitive.
you're putting some words in her mouth. The tone of the email might have said, "Hey, coach, would have been nice if you'd done this before I looked at it." But I'm not hearing anything that convinces me that she thinks you're an idiot.
Well, I think I'm very perceptive, so I think
Mm.
I'm right, and that you don't have all the information that I do,
I don't.
and
I don't have all
I
the
can't
information.
possibly communicate it one on the
You really can't.
podcast,
Well,
and
you
two,
absolutely cannot. Yeah.
yeah, and then also it's just you'd have to like you'd have to have been there for all of our previous interactions and read every single email, and that's just too much information.
I will say this about your cast and your identity on this cast. I with a little bit of digging, just a little bit of digging,
Yeah, you could find
any
it
one of them could figure out that this cast is connected to you.
a little
Any one
bit,
of them.
but I think it would be
You used to do some self-promoting on
on
on the
Twitter.
face page.
Oh, but
And
no, I didn't. I never promoted the
you
podcast on
never promoted
Facebook.
on the. Okay, that was only
Never.
your streaming.
That's only Twitch, and
Okay.
I've done some. I changed my Twitter,
Oh.
so they could find my Twitch and they could find my YouTube, and like fine, whatever, those are fine. But this is not connected to that unless you're already
I don't
listening
know.
to
I don't
this.
know what's worse for them to
The
find,
Pokemon
this
cards or
podcast
just
or the
me
Pokemon
being just
unboxing.
those are fine. I mean, if somebody saw that, would be like,
Oh,
"That's
they're great.
weird," but they'd be like, "Whatever."
Yeah, no, I mean I watch them.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I enjoy them. And I don't even know Pokemon. So,
Yeah, check
but
out the YouTube channel,
check out
Robinson B Caruso on
let's
YouTube,
plug the YouTube channel.
and then also same on Twitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad found my Twitter and he was disappointed in my tweets, and I'm like,
Ooh. What's he doing on
digging through my
Twitter?
Twitter.
What?
I don't know. I mean, because I think he like Googled my my Twitch, which is why I've since changed everything around. So
Oh,
he
okay.
like Googled my Twitch name and then like found my Twitter and was like, oh, this is all you have crude tweets. And I'm like, okay.
Crude.
Well, also, and another thing about trying to find me is that my name is actually a very good smokescreen in that other people, and who's to say
I I'd
who,
I'd say it is a popular Italian name.
across every combination of it,
Yeah.
there's higher people on Google than they'll ever find me. And I just need to like set my Google or like my Facebook to like private or something, bulletproof, and they wouldn't be able to find me.
I had a tab open of the basketball player you mentioned earlier, and
Yeah,
I didn't realize he went to Texas
he
A&M.
did,
Makes sense
which
why
is why
he
he was
would
back here. Yeah,
be back here. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what is this guy doing in my state? But that's fair.
yeah.
I know someone else with the name of this guy's father. I mean, this is just, I mean, it's popular. It's popular. It could
Popular.
be anybody.
It could be
It could
anybody.
be anybody. Mm. Wow.
So I mean, all I'm saying is that they won't find me. And if they did, the recent episodes haven't been that bad. They're not
If they
last
did,
year's. They're not
hopefully,
last year's.
well, yeah. No, you guys have gotten a really good rhythm going.
I don't mean that. I'm spiraling a lot less.
Well, I mean, also that, but, and probably covering, I mean, I keep track. I'm a listener, obviously,
Yeah,
avid listener every week. So I
and
keep
we
track and
appreciate it.
yeah,
How does
I'm
it
one of
feel? How does
9
it feel to be
listeners.
on one of your favorite podcasts?
I mean, I'm a big fan, so this is a dream come true for me. I was just waiting for the date when I got the invite,
Yeah,
and all it took was, Skillshy going on vacation, but
yeah. It's all. That's all. I mean,
that's all it
if
took. I
he'll
did not
listen to
have to do
this, and then
anything.
depending on his judgment, and then you might be back maybe, or if he hates you,
Oh,
then
I'll never be back on. I mean, we've spent 20 minutes. I think we've already put the listeners to sleep. We
yeah,
we agreed upon 5 minutes of talking about work, and we just blew right past that. So
yeah. Well,
it's hard.
I think it kind of extended more beyond work and became about me, which everybody loves listening about.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's more interesting. And
no,
speaking
it's
of you,
not.
speaking of you, you also being Morgan Wallen,
Right, getting
getting
canceled.
canceled. So don't let that happen to you. We don't want you to get canceled. But all you have to do is say an
Say,
apology. Say, I didn't mean to say the N word. I didn't mean it.
how do you, I just don't understand how you don't mean to say that.
You
It's
absolutely mean
to
to
say
say
it.
it.
I feel like
You
when anyone says it, it's a deliberate choice. Now, if they're doing it to be mean or if they're doing it as a bit, and I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying anyone can do a bit with anything. Like they could do it at anything as a bit. Let me rephrase that so nobody says I'm
hmm
condoning saying the N word as a bit, which I'm not.
No, we definitely are not.
We're not. It's against the rules. Also against the rules on my Twitch stream. So for those listening, who sometimes one person in particular who goes on my Twitch and sometimes says the N word, don't do that. Don't do that. I tell you not to. There, I say, please don't say the N word.
Are those comments recorded? I'm not. I'm a Twitch
Uh,
novice. I don't know anything about Twitch. Like, do they keep record of those comments with the videos?
I don't know. Actually, I don't think so. I
Mm.
think they'll have a reaction to me telling them not to say the N word and being upset about it, but it won't pop up anywhere based on
So
the.
there's really no proof. I mean, you said, "Hey, don't say that," but that's just a PSA for everybody.
Yeah, and
Hey,
who's to
we
say
don't want
which
you to
N
say that
word?
here. Yeah.
They could have
I
said
only know
Nimrod, and I would have been
I
like,
only know the
"Whoa,
one.
don't!" I'm like, "Hey, Nimrod, that's the N word to me. Don't say that."
hmm
Yeah, but also the other one,
Also the big one.
the big
The
one,
the
nincompoop.
hard the hard R, you know.
Well,
We don't.
there's an R in Nimrod. How would you say that with the soft R? Because that
That's a good
question
point.
could get you into racism territory of a different kind if you try and soften that R into a different letter. No, okay.
I'm trying to think of it in my head, and I'm
Here,
thinking Curtis, don't even bother. Don't try to say it. You're not going to say anything.
I put it in
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
chat. Yeah, so I mean, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
said it, but we get it. Does the audience get it? I don't care. This is my show now.
This is
Um,
my this is my show now. I'm
true.
taking over.
Sure, yeah. What do you want to talk about? We talk about
Uh,
movies. We can talk about Survivor. No one's here to stop me.
we could talk about Survivor,
If only, I mean,
and
there's nothing really to talk about though, because
there's nothing new.
there's nothing
Yeah.
new. But they've our good dear personal friend Martin
Mm-hmm.
posted the cast at least for 41. I don't know if he posted 42 because I haven't bothered to look. Um, but it's a one of those 18 person 3 tribe ones.
Okay.
It's the one where they shortened it to like 29 days or something, or like 26 or something ridiculous.
26. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see how that will go. I mean, I'm assuming they'll still have the same number of episodes and maybe just cut out less, or do you think they'll even have a shortened season?
No, I think, well, because they have 18 people, and I think because normally they have to deal with like having those double boots, which I guess you
Yeah.
don't have to do with 18 anyways.
You wouldn't. You would
And
just have
you just have the
more
straight through.
frequent
Yeah.
tribals. Yeah.
Yeah, but just because they're more frequent doesn't necessarily. Yeah. So I think it'll be the same amount of episodes, and it'll just be
Yeah.
more stuff that's good. Maybe, probably not. They actually will probably be very similar
There
compared to
will
the
be
usual ones.
literally no
The only
differences.
difference will be the number that they show in the corner. That's like day whatever. It's going to go to 26 instead of 39, and that's going to be the only difference. They could even lie and say that it's 39 days. I bet most people wouldn't notice.
You know what, though? What I will say about this rumored,
Very
um,
diverse.
that is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was like, my
You took
days
the
of getting
words
on the
right out of
show
my mouth.
are over.
Oh, absolutely.
unless
I
I
mean,
really lean into being Asian passing, and that might be a strategy for me. I don't know. Have
you
I talked
might
about
have
this
to,
once,
but
sweetie, on the podcast / to you? I don't think I've talked
you
about it on the podcast, but
not on the cast, but you've told me, yeah,
about the
about
one
her.
who came over to my apartment.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that doesn't. I know who
that
you're
doesn't.
talking about,
Yeah,
though,
yes, Taco
because
Bell one.
yeah,
Yeah,
but there have been multiple sweeties
who's come over to my
who've come
apartment?
over to your apartment,
That is
so
true,
don't sell yourself short, okay?
including a listener of this podcast.
Who will remain unnamed, but
They know who they are,
hello,
and
hello, listener.
we know who they are. Um, but they don't know who you are.
That's what I
But they
was
do
gonna say.
now, maybe, kind
Here
of.
I am. Yeah, I mean, I've always been there. I've been there all
Yeah,
along,
yeah.
though.
You've
I've
been in
always
the
been.
shadows. You've
I've
you've
been
been
in the
in the loop
shadows.
on everything.
I've been in the Discord. Like
You see
I
it.
still see it. I read these messages from time to time. Sometimes I react. I put a little
I do see the
emoji.
when I see the little react. I'm like, nice,
Yeah.
sick.
Every now and then I'm just
Yeah.
like, let me pop my head in and see what's going on. And normally it's not enough for me to actually want to contribute something
Way to talk
substantial.
shit. Way to talk shit about all of our listeners. You're
No,
not
it's not
enough
even
for
that.
King Curtis to care.
It's not even that. It's that I don't have something meaningful to say. Like I don't
Do
know.
you think anything we talk about there is meaningful?
It's not even that. It's not even that. I feel like here's my problem. Here's my
Okay. All
problem.
right. Sure.
I um I don't feel
Included.
established. And no, it's not even that. I mean, it's a little bit that, but I did that to myself, you know. I kind of
Yeah.
excluded myself, you know, back in the early days of the Discord. Well, one, I wasn't part of the Coward Hour Discord. Was not part of that.
Yeah.
Did not have that honor. And
Yeah. That. Yeah.
aren't you a moderator of that now
I
or
am.
something?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I also have to keep like again. It's I don't know what it is. People love saying the N word, and it's like I have to be vigilant
It's not
of
even
like 2 or 3 people, and they know.
it's
I
not
mean, not that
even
they're
fun to
listening, but
say.
people that I'm our fans know who I'm talking about. White OJ specifically. That means something
That's
to other people. His name's White OJ.
that's the name. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's made a name for himself in the Coward Hour Discord in a lot of
I
ways.
could see how
He's
this person
been
would be
name dropped
problematic.
on Coward Hour. Yep. White OJ.
Mm.
Um,
Did he also murder his wife?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
Does
don't
he
know
have a
if he.
wife?
I don't know.
Is this a 15-year-old boy?
I
Are there
can't say for sure.
are there 12-year-olds in
The
in
kid on my
these
Twitch,
Discord?
who says the N word is 15 or something. He is a teenager.
See, and that's
You're like, that's more
yeah.
acceptable.
I mean,
Not acceptable,
acceptable? Never. Of
understandable.
course not. We don't accept that, right? We don't
No,
accept that.
no,
Never.
never.
However, do better, you know, do better. However, I will say, you know, at age 15, I don't know how many times I heard that word, playing some Call of Duty or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, my God.
I remember in college, freshman year, my roommate had his phone stolen, and he was so mad about it. He like went into the shower and started screaming and was dropping quite a few of the of a certain word, because
Hmm.
I'm assuming that's who the kind of person he thought took his phone. He
And
was
just by saying the word 3 times, it's going to appear
no,
like
he
Beetlejuice.
was just like going. Well, I'm not gonna even try and repeat
Of
it because
course, no,
I'll
yeah.
trick myself into saying it. I wouldn't
No, we don't want
actually.
that.
No, but
No.
he was screaming, saying the F word, which it's also a no
Oh
no.
man.
Don't want to say
Well,
the F
and
word.
and can you imagine, have you seen the Donald Glover skit? I think it's from
Oh, I
probably
think I
Derek
know. I
Comedy
think I know what
Days.
you're talking about.
The
Yeah, yeah.
combination of
Of the
both of
two, yeah.
those. Yeah. Did he do any of that? Was there any combination
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
words?
yeah.
Oh wow.
It was. I mean, it was pretty funny to just sit there, but I was like, whew, yikes!
That's really that would make me so uncomfortable.
Really letting
Be
the
like,
mask
I
slip.
can't take you in public anywhere. I just can't trust that you're not going to say that.
No, he was. I never heard him say it any other time, other than that
Just
one. I've never even
he's
seen him
just a
like
shower racist.
be really mad, other than him. Yeah, but that was North
Only
Carolina,
racist in the
man.
shower. Hmm.
And he's from Atlanta too, which probably makes it even worse. Uh,
Well, I've got a story. Speaking, we've spent a lot of time
talking about
on
nothing.
well, no, talking about this word, and I feel like it's probably a bad thing that we spend so much time. But I'm just one last story, and then I promise listeners
We
we
could
can
talk
we can
about
move
John
on.
McAfee, maybe. We need
Yeah,
to talk about
maybe
Drake Bell
eventually.
too. I want to talk about Drake Bell, and
Oh
also
well, yeah,
movies. I want to talk about
yeah.
movies.
Real quick, last story. College playing playing a game, and I will say it, although this will absolutely identify me. Mario Party 3. Um, that's enough, trust me. But without getting into too much detail, as you know, playing Mario Party, you can steal stars. You
You
get
sure
chance
can. It's
chance time. Chance
oh,
time.
chance time is for
Horrible.
it's. I don't like chance time at
It is
all.
a
You've
make it or
seen me
break
play
of
Mario Party.
friendships.
I get a little
Yeah.
into it. It
Oh,
probably
me too.
made certain people
Absolutely.
uncomfortable, but that's whatever.
Yeah, but that's their problem,
That's their
not
problem.
ours. When it's Mario Party time, I mean, all bets are off. Friendships don't matter. Relationships are ruined.
I
Like
would
that's
kill
just
a
how it
person over
works.
Mario Party unless I'm winning, and then I'm
Absolutely.
like, oh, it's what? It's a fun game.
Of course. So, chance time happens, and I I'm on the receiving end. I'm the lucky one in this story.
Well,
So,
yeah. Well,
it undeservingly so.
yeah.
But uh so I get, I don't know, I think it was either 2 or like 3, whatever, however many stars, but I got all of his stars. My friend, this individual, and I don't know why, but his reaction to it was to say, "Curtis, you inward." And it gets better. And this is a this is a Korean man. This is a Korean man.
And if people couldn't tell, you're a white woman.
I am, yes. If you could not tell, I am white, and a woman. That is hard. A lot of people have confused me at work for being a man, and
Which I
it is
don't
what it is.
get, but whatever.
The name
Especially
goes
over
both ways.
email where they can see your name.
Because my name goes both ways. There now it's
Curtis is
definitely more,
famously both the masculine and feminine name.
yeah. Famously. I know lots of
Famously,
women
a lot of
named
women named
Curtis.
Curtis. That should
Yeah.
be a thing.
I will name my firstborn child Curtis.
One
Either
way or
way,
the other, it's
one way or the
happening.
other.
Cool. I'm glad
Um,
everyone's in agreement on that.
so the best part of the story. So he said it. It's out there. At at that exact moment,
Yeah.
one of our black friends is
Ooh.
walking behind the couch at that moment, and I won't say his name, so we'll just call him what's a good just I can't think of a
What's a good what?
what's a good name? Just a random
Bob?
Bob. We'll call him Bob. So our black friend says, "Bob, you shady bitch." And it's been our, favorite story ever since. And he felt terrible after that. And I would hope that he's never said the word since, but he's learned his lesson.
You know, next Sunday when I'm in church, I'll put that in my prayers. Pray that
Say
he
a prayer
hasn't.
for him.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
know me, I go to church. I'm on a.
Do you really?
No, but I
Are you
am
being
on a
serious right
Christian.
now?
No, I am on a Christian dating app right now, where I
Which
have
one? Christian
Upward.
Mingle?
No, not Christian Mingle. It's Upward, which is like
Upward.
Tinder, but for it's basically exactly like Tinder, but there's an additional bio box just for your relationship with God.
that's, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Oh
it's
my god.
it's rough.
That's painful. Why are you on this? Is it that dry? Is the pool just so small? You've dated them all. You've gone through all the women and now you're on.
Well, I was just at first I was like, well, wouldn't it be? Well, I found out about it at all because my Bachelor franchise crush Victoria F did a sponsored post about it. She's like, I'm on this app, and I'm like, well, if I'm ever in Nashville, I gotta have the algorithm smiling upon me favorably, so that maybe it could happen.
Coach, I can guarantee 100% she is most definitely not on that app.
But she can't
She might be it's
lie.
a sponsored ad that she is most definitely not on that app.
Well, look, there's only one way of knowing, and that's by spending a week in Nashville, spending as much money as I can to go through every single person there just to be sure.
When's the trip? When's your flight? When you going?
I don't know. I might have to go to San Diego. Not for reasons
No.
previously discussed on this
Okay.
podcast, for my dying
But
great
to see
uncle.
your uncle.
Well, no,
Well,
I
he's
mean
like
he will be dead by the time I
he'll
go.
be
Probably.
what?
Yeah,
He's like
he's not
dying,
doing. Yeah,
dying.
he's dying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Well, should you go sooner? Like now?
well, I thought about that, but and I talked about it with my dad, and he was like, he's way too out of it for like you being there to mean anything to him,
Mhm.
and like you're not going to
Oh
want to
god.
remember him like that. And I'm like, yeah,
In
that's a
those
good
no,
point.
for sure.
Yeah, so I won't, but yeah. So yeah, maybe maybe I'll see somebody in San Diego. Who's to say? I don't think I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good time for that. It would probably come off very poorly.
Yeah, like hey, I'm here for my uncle's funeral. You
Want to
want to bang?
hang?
Yeah.
No, I would
Oh,
never. I would say
what?
hang. I would, yeah. Be like, let's get dinner and drinks, and then see, and then nothing, and then hang out again, and then who's to say? I'm a classy guy. It
You're like
doesn't
a third
sound like it
third
on the
dater.
podcast, but well, I try to be, and the sweeties like they expedite things faster than I would prefer.
Yeah. I mean,
And
3 dates is
that's,
that's practically old fashioned now. I mean, that used to be Sex in the City, they were like 3 dates. That's the time on the third date.
yeah,
That was the rule. And what was that? 90s, early 2000s. But
yeah. I think that's a good rule.
now
Three
it's
or I
like,
mean, I don't know, like
third hour. If you don't know by then it's like we're
apparently
done here.
I hate that.
Hmm.
It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know you. Like, I don't want to bang somebody I don't know. Unless I'm like really out of it because I'm like blackout drunk. And then apparently I am fine with that. But normally if I'm like going on a date with somebody, I don't want to be used. I'm being used for my amazing bod.
Okay.
Yeah, no. But that did happen more than once last year. I will say, let the record show that did happen, and I you know what, and I wasn't comfortable with it.
I mean, if you're uncomfortable and you don't like that, you don't. More power to you. Absolutely, you
Yeah,
don't do it. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. 100%.
but
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
sweeties don't like it when you don't want to bang and they do. They don't like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could see.
You
I
can see
could
them
see them
taking it
getting
the wrong way.
upset
Yeah.
because they're like, "Oh, is it me? He thinks
No,
I'm ugly. He thinks I'm unattractive. He doesn't want to have sex with me." That kind of thing.
no. I mean, maybe, but most of the time, no.
Hmm.
At least the times that happened last, no. Even a certain individual, I will say,
Well, when you
hung
come
out with
over at
3
2 a.m. with
times.
Taco Bell,
No,
you
she
know,
explicit. Okay, so let me explain the story on the podcast because I don't think I had because I didn't at the time because I was like I should be good and not talk about it, but it's been 6 months, so who fucking cares? There's no way
yeah.
she's gonna find this, and if she does, hello. I don't have anything against you. It's a funny story. Um, I was playing Among Us with my doctor friends, you know, as somebody does on a typical Thursday night. And this girl who I had been talking to a little bit was like, "Hey, you should come hang out, like on 6th Street." And I'm like, on a Thursday night, like
Thirsty
it's
Thursdays.
already like 10 o'clock. I'm like, no. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you can come and meet me and my friends." I'm like, I maybe would meet you right now, but like I'm not meeting you and other people I don't know. To me, that's
Yeah.
weird, right? Like I never hung out
Yeah.
with this girl before, so like it'd be one thing if I hung out with her once, and then second time, sure, I can meet her friends, whatever. But first time, no. And so she kept
I
like
agree.
nagging me about it, and I'm like sitting there playing Among Us, and I'm like I don't want to leave my boys. You know, the imposter is sus. I got to figure out who killed Yellow. It was probably me.
Can't
I would
can't
always
leave
kill the
that.
same person. Yeah.
Can't leave that.
No, you're gaming. I'm a man of priorities. If I'm doing something and I agree to do something, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna dip because that's ignoble. I would say. I've never canceled a play. That's not true.
Pals before gals. That's
And
my
that's
new politically correct way of saying,
yeah, pals before
the
gals.
other.
Yeah,
Pals before gals.
I actually think that sounds better. It
Yeah.
sounds more fun.
It's less derogatory,
True, yeah, and
because
pals
I
can
don't
be gender neutral too. You can have any
exactly.
kind of pal, and there are all
It could be
sorts of pals,
female or male
or
pals or
non-binary
non-binary,
who
non-binary
they
pals.
exist. That's fine, and I'm not going to do anything about it. That's the mantra.
Yeah.
About the fans
We are
love my
we're
mantra about
we're friendly
non-binary
people.
people.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not this isn't a bit here. I accept anyone for whoever they are. I don't care.
I
There it is.
uh,
You're showing some
I
hesitation there.
agree.
All right.
Look, non-binary people are real. That's fine, and I'm not
That's a
going to do
fact.
anything about it.
Okay,
And
that's
that's
one
all
way
I
of
need to say
saying it.
about it. And if you want to say that's accepting them, then okay. But yeah,
He's accepting them, folks. He's accepting them.
sure. But well, it is weird, like because I almost dated a non-binary girl last year, and well, I say non-binary girl, and I already unmasked
You've
how I
already
felt. Yeah, but it wasn't like a perfectly androgynous person. It was if no one were there to tell you pronouns, you would assume, which you shouldn't do apparently. But if let's say it's 2010 and not 2020 like it was at the time, you would assume that they were a woman, they were assigned female at birth. You would have been like, oh yes, a lady, and that makes me a bad person for accidentally saying that now. I don't think so. I think that's just anyway. So back to the other story before I just dig a deeper hole.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's rewind a bit.
Yeah, rewind a bit. So playing Among Us, she just wants me to hang out. I'm like, no. And she basically keeps nagging me, and she's like, okay, well, like, what if I go over to your place? And I'm like looking around my apartment, and it's a fucking dump as it isn't now. You can kind of look, and it's like pretty okay. I mean, the desk is a mess because I was recording a video, but stay tuned.
I don't expect anything to be perfectly clean, when I
but
go.
It's fine. But it was bad. It was bad. It took me a while it took me getting all my floors taken out and put back in for me to get back on keeping my place like tidy, which I've been doing a pretty good job. Not that anyone's been here to see it, but that's fine.
I don't mind the floors. You said you didn't like them, but
they've grown on me a little bit, but I miss the old ones.
Mm.
But it is brighter because of the who cares? No one can see this.
No one can see it. Doesn't matter. These are just neon green floors. Everyone, neon green.
Yeah, and they change color when you step on them. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. It's like a chameleon.
Ooh, that would be cool, actually. So this girl, she made. I cleaned my apartment, and by the time I like had it clean enough that I was like cool with her to come over, it was like 1 a.m. And she's like, "Oh, I'll come over." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "I'll bring Taco Bell." I'm like, "Great."
Even better.
Give me a Baja Blast because it's 1 a.m. and I'm sleepy. And then, and she ended up getting me also some sort of burrito thing, which was I didn't ask for. That was very nice of her.
Very considerate.
It was great. Yeah. But she was like, "Now, just so you know, I don't bang on the first date." And I'm like, "Great." Like I didn't want to.
Like I don't want to bang you after eating Taco Bell. I mean. Who knows what's
I don't want you to I don't want you to come over here still drunk and high and also with Taco Bell. Yeah, but the first thing she did when she came in was she accused me. Well, she didn't accuse me. She asked if I was Asian, and I said no. And then she was like, "Well, I'm mixed. What do you think What do you think I am?" And I'm like, "I don't know how to answer that." And I don't know. And she's like, "I'm half white, half black. You wouldn't have guessed that, huh?" I'm like, "I guess not." And then she spent the whole time bothering my cat, and then she left. And then afterwards, I was like, well, that went very strangely, and I don't think that went well, but I think like she's a strange lady. Not a bad lady, just...
It's an interesting
lady that I would have hung out with again if given the opportunity. But I thought that was it. And then she like tried FaceTiming me when she got home, and I'm like, that's weird. I didn't notice because I was like brushing my teeth and getting ready for bed. And then like she sent me like a video of her hanging out with her cat, and I was like, cool. And
that's then, probably what she wanted to do, just FaceTime her cat to you. But I absolutely would not have answered my phone. No way.
If I had seen it,
no way.
I would have. But I'd literally put my phone down in the other room, went to go brush my teeth, like the one time of day when I'm not like glued to my phone, you know.
There's 2 minutes of personal time for you.
When a man brushes his teeth, yeah.
Don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
So that was the whole story, basically, to just say that you look like you could be from a country that is not America or
my parents
Italia.
might be from somewhere. One of them.
I
look like I could be half of something. And who's to say what?
I don't even know about that. I'm thinking more like a quarter. Yeah.
Well,
we have a Keanu Reeves here, folks. That's what it is. It's a Keanu Reeves situation.
I got that in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got, I guess Ben from season 3 of Ozark. I've gotten him.
I watch that show. I have to look that up.
Yeah. A fan of the cast said that she could not keep watching because it reminded her too much of me.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can kind of see it, but I don't. It's not like that.
it is
It's not like that close. Yeah.
no, not. I don't even see it. I don't see it. Maybe if you had like a really full beard.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
my hair was like pushed back with the beard,
Hmm.
maybe. But right now, it's just a
It's not
little.
impossible, but just upon
It's not
first
the.
glance,
It's
I'm
not the
not
first
seeing it.
person you would think of.
No,
Yeah. And then Morgan
no.
Wallen, which
Clearly,
maybe I
Morgan
don't know.
Wallen is.
Clearly, many people were saying that. Literally, I say
It's
that a
not.
lot. Many
Yeah.
people are saying things. That time, many people literally were.
It's the mullet. I
It,
mean, it's the
which,
mullet. It's
yeah,
100% the mullet. If you didn't have the mullet, then they'd be like, Morgan Wallen who? This guy
like
doesn't
you
look
don't
like
look like
anybody.
you'd say the N word.
No.
um,
Or make out with college sorority girls during a pandemic and get canceled from SNL, but then get reinstated to SNL like 6 months down the line. Not.
they do that for Morgan Wallen, and that they wouldn't do it for Shane Gillis. Some world we live in.
You know what though? That's a fair point. I
Yeah,
mean, I
I was
think
saying that as a joke, but now I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird.
I don't know the whole like his whole situation and like his apology, if he even gave an apology. I don't know anything about his story.
Yeah,
But if he did, if he was like, look, those were, a few years back and they were shitty jokes and they were offensive and I'm really sorry. I'm not going to do it again. Then I'd be like, well, what else can this guy do? What else can this guy say? I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to say as a
yeah.
as a white woman what his punishment should be. That's not on me. I'm not, that's not my
And that's
responsibility.
very brave of you to say that, because many white women would say, actually, it is my responsibility to say what somebody can and can't say.
I actually had that come up um in conversation with a couple of my other friends because I do have a friend I think is that kind of white woman
Do I know this
who.
one?
No, I don't think so. They're not in your city.
Ah,
They're in
okay.
my
They're in your
city.
city, yes.
Hmm.
Then I don't know them.
What city is this? Who knows? But
Well, they know.
hint,
They know.
a
I've
lot of
said my city
mosquitoes.
on here before. They know I'm in Austin. So
Yeah. No, I'm in Houston, but Austin's a much greater city. I have to plug it. I have to plug it on the
no,
cast.
don't plug it.
Austin,
Don't. Nobody move
greatest
here.
city in the world.
Don't. It's not. It's a hellhole.
It's the greatest city in the world, but yes, it is becoming unlivable. So don't move there. But just know
If
it's
you
the
do
greatest
live
city
in
in the world.
Austin, leave.
Like I did.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
I
probably
was
gonna leave at
hoping
some point too. There's nothing. There's nothing for me here anymore.
I want to revisit that sometime later, but
Stay on
um
task, and it's not
I'm
just
gonna
be.
stay on
If
task.
I get too like unhinged, not unhinged, like unchained, it's just like the ADHD in my head just goes. It must be a nightmare trying to listen to me on this, because I feel like I jump around from topic to topic
But it
very
keeps it
abruptly.
interesting. That's what I like is that you're able to. I mean, one, you're easy to talk to, which is great. And because your mind is always constantly thinking of the next thing or yeah, other topics. So it doesn't there's not a lot of downtime, which is great for a podcast. You don't want a bunch of silences where we're just
Oh,
sitting there for 30 seconds thinking what the hell are we going to talk about? No, of
yeah,
course
it's good
not.
on a date, because if there's ever a
Yeah.
silence, I could be like, um, I could talk about Survivor. They love that. Actually, they do love it when I talk about Survivor, because my eyes light up, and they're like, "Ooh, a man's passionate about something." Mm.
That's what I was going to say. Women love a passionate man.
Yeah,
Now, there are certain passions where we're like, please do not tell us
stop.
more. Like if you were talking about your, I don't know, katana for a long period of time,
Well, I
I,
don't
I would be
bring
like,
up the katana. I try and hide the swords if anyone comes over, unless I know they like swords, and then I keep them out. If they want to kill me with the sword, then whatever. Um,
you were gonna, one of these days, you could have committed Sudoku. So
I've
they're
oh boy.
just one step ahead of you,
In like a
one step
couple
ahead of you.
weeks, on the anniversary of a certain date, who's to say what's going to happen?
Anniversary of a certain date.
a certain date.
Do I know this? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were talking about it on the pre-show.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like something much more severe than what it actually
What are
is.
you talking about? It's
This
very
is the most
severe.
traumatic thing that's
That's
ever happened to you in
literally
your
the
life.
most dramatic thing that's happened to me in the last year, for sure.
You've lived a good life then.
It's
I mean,
been
not that I've
no,
had anything traumatic happen to me,
no. I'm
but
like, my life's been boring. It's just nothing's happened other than that,
well,
which
I
is
wouldn't
very
say
emotional.
that. I mean, definitely your parents. We won't
Well,
get into
that
this,
wasn't the
but
last year though. That was
no, not in the last year, but I just mean you said, "Oh, my life's boring," but
oh no, I just meant the last year. My life has not been
okay,
boring, especially
in the
the year
grand scheme of
before
things.
last year.
Hmm.
It was very spicy, and I did it.
My
And
last year.
I handled it like a champ.
Mm,
Totally.
yes, that is why you are unhinged right now. Probably a
No, it
lot
has
of the
nothing to do. It
reason.
has nothing to do
Uh,
with them.
who's to say? Who's to say?
Okay.
Who's to say?
Okay. Anyways, we've been
Um,
talking for almost an hour. We have not talked about John McAfee at all, or
this
movies,
is
or Drake Bell.
well,
And it'd be very funny
what?
if we never did.
What actually, yeah, we have a whole episode dedicated to John McAfee, and then
We
we
talk
don't say
about no
more than his name.
crimes. We don't. He
We
was a
talked
crazy
about a
man.
crime. We talked
We
about the
did.
crime of you um, feeling like you were called an idiot by a supervisor.
And my
That
feelings are valid.
that's criminal. That's yeah, that's criminal. We also talked about saying the N word, which is not
That's
good.
it's
It's a
not
bad
a
thing.
crime, but maybe it should be.
But
You know what? I'm going
I
to go
mean,
on
it could be
record. It
considered
should
hate
be a
speech.
crime. Which
It
is a
could be
crime.
considered hate speech.
Some places,
So
yeah. Who's to say?
yeah, depending on the situation, it could be a hate crime. Absolutely. So
Some people are
criminal.
allowed to say it though, and that's fine too.
Yeah, not us.
Not
Not
us.
us.
Not us. Not this podcast.
Um, but yeah, I do have a friend, a white woman, who is very much into telling people like when they are being offensive to other people.
Yeah.
And and my mantra is I don't really feel like I have the right to be offended by something that does not affect me, but if it offends someone else, then I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of what is
Right.
and what is not offensive when I am not part of the equation. But
Yeah.
I
If
do
somebody else is
think,
offended by something and they're like affected by it, you know what I mean? Then I'll be like, well, yeah, like don't
yeah,
be a dick for no
that makes
reason.
sense.
But
But if if I'm called a Italian slur or something, um and I'm like, wow, this is really offensive to Italians out there. How dare you say that? I'm gonna get you canceled. But it's just like, well, I might turn to you and say, "Well, Coach, how do you feel about this?"
and
And you
I'd
could
be
be like,
like, I've never been more offended in my life.
yeah,
Those fucking wops calling you a wop, unbelievable.
and that's right. That's your
And I'm allowed to
you
say
have
that. And
you are allowed to have that opinion
I should say it
and
at
be
work
offended.
and just see what happens. I
Are
should
there any
not do
other
that.
are there any
Not
other
anymore.
Italians there? There were?
Uh, the the big one that was there.
Oh, the big
The
one who's got
of
the
course,
sandwich named
yeah,
after him.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but other than that, oh, and then one manager on one team that is a manager recently on a team
Mm.
that you have a friend on.
Mm. Oh, uh-huh.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And she would definitely be cool with somebody saying if I said it, she'd be fine with it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she adores you. So,
Everybody loves me.
well, wouldn't go
Well,
that far, but
people
you're
like me.
polarizing.
I feel
You're
like the people
polarizing.
I am, but I don't think anybody who dislikes me has a reason to anymore. And so, well, the people who did dislike me no longer have a reason to, and thus I don't think care one way or the other.
I do agree with that statement.
Yeah,
They don't. There is no reason
I
to.
don't think there's anything personal there.
Yeah.
Largely, it was strictly me just being a
Now that you're
fuckhead,
not working together,
and it's fine.
what? Yeah. Hmm. But the bits, I don't know. I still think the bits are polarizing
Well, I don't do them that too much at work,
at work. Hmm.
or if I do, it's like very. Well, then again, I'll like go off on rants about how I'm like, well, you should obviously rob a bank one time because you'll get away with it, but you don't do it more than once. Like, obviously, I don't think anyone at our firm should rob a bank because it's an accounting firm. Like, none of these
Just
people,
embezzle money like the
like a
rest of the
regular
accountants out
person,
there.
or
Yeah.
like, yeah, do something, cook some books. Don't these people aren't made for robbing banks.
So, cooking some books, money laundering, tax evasion could be our segue
John
into our guy.
McAfee. He's a crazy
Um,
guy. I was reading his Wikipedia page, and also
oh,
just knowing about
absolutely. He is
his Twitter.
insane.
Yeah, which is, I know this sounds like I am a plant from the government, because I know people are like, oh,
Hmm.
it's like Epstein, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure he absolutely did kill himself.
Oh, this is completely different from Epstein.
Right.
He
No, I'm
wants
saying,
it. Yeah, he
yeah,
wants it to be Epstein. No, we're on the same page. Yeah,
yeah.
we're in agreement. He wanted it to be like Epstein, but sorry, buddy, you weren't important enough, and you didn't have enough dirt on anybody to be Epstein.
Well, I have seen people like post like 4chan screenshots about how they're like John McAfee was like piloting a drone that got footage of Jeffrey Epstein on like Little St. James or something. Um,
Mm.
and somehow are connecting that to him killing himself. I'm like, but John McAfee is one notoriously an insane person. And like everything he tweets is like wacko. And two, it's totally up his alley to be like, I'm definitely not going to kill myself and then kill himself. Like, I would do that if I were him, you know? Or me.
Again, I think he's so paranoid because he's a crazy person. He's so paranoid of the government, and
I mean, to
that's
be
one
fair,
and
the
he's a
U.S.
narcissist.
government wanted his ass for
Oh, they absolutely
different
did.
reasons, not for.
But they wanted to put him in American jail and take the money that he owed in taxes from him, not not kill him. They
Yeah.
wanted his money. They want his money. They want their fair share. They say
Do they
you
get
owe
his
us.
money now that he's dead?
I I have no idea. I
Because if they
assume you
don't, I
have
could see
to.
him being like, well, fuck these guys. I'm just gonna take my money with me to the grave, and like you can't do anything about it. Or if like somebody gets in a will, like is
Mhm.
the government no longer entitled to it? I don't know.
I mean, you know who should know that? Us.
Us, yeah.
as as the accountants that we claim to be.
I should ask my senior manager when she gets back from vacation. I'll be like, "Did you hear about John McAfee?" Okay, so who gets that money? Hypothetically.
I know. I mean, there's going to be so much money that definitely some estate taxes would play into it. So the
Yeah,
government would get something.
something. But would they be able to get the stuff that he like the stuff that he owes them, not from dying, but from because
I think it'd be hard. I think it'd be hard to make a case for that.
I agree. Well, that's smart. I guess not that I'm
So
saying
his
anybody should kill themselves to not give money to the government, but
But if
maybe
you're
it's an
in a
option for
Spanish
you.
prison about to be extradited to the US, it could be an
He's
option.
75, which is older
He
than I
lived
thought.
a
So
long
that's
life. Yeah.
good enough. Yeah, if I
He
was him,
looks
I'd be
good for
like,
his
he
age.
does.
And
like
you know,
Donald
and he
Trump.
knows it too. And
Yeah.
what? No,
No,
Donald Trump
Donald
does
Trump.
not look good for his
He's
age.
like 80 something, and I don't ever
No,
think he looks.
he's not. He's not 80 something. He's in his 70s.
He's he's
He's
old.
not. He's not. He's younger than Biden. I think Biden's maybe 80 now.
Okay, well he's in a look. Donald Trump. Okay, he's 75. He looks like he could be
Yeah.
65
Well,
at
that's what
least.
having millions of dollars will get you, you know.
But people make fun. I mean, whatever.
I'm not saying he looks
Bad.
well, yeah, I guess maybe I should rephrase it. When I look at John McAfee, I'm like, "Oh, you look good for your age." When I look at Donald Trump,
He
I say,
looks
"You
bad
look
for a younger
bad."
man's age,
Yeah,
which is.
like maybe you don't look 75, but you don't look good.
But he doesn't look
So,
75.
I'll give you that.
Whereas like John McAfee looks older than Donald Trump, but I guess they are the same age.
I just disagree with that in like every single way.
In the Discord, vote now on your phones if
Who
you
is
think
correct? Who
who
looks
looks
older?
older, Donald Trump or John McAfee. Um, maybe
I'm
I'll remember to read.
specifically
I'll remember
referring
to read the
to
answer later.
a photo that I saw that he posted on Twitter, and he's literally just wearing a mask over his genitals.
John McAfee, I'm
And
assuming not Donald Trump,
not Donald
which
Trump.
would be very funny if he did that.
It would. I don't think I'd want to see that. I mean, I didn't want to see
I
this
wouldn't want to
picture
see
either.
either way, but if Donald Trump did that, that would be really, really funny.
It would be a sight to see and hopefully never see again.
Yeah.
But yeah, McAfee tweeted it, and I was like, well, that's some confidence right there. I disagree with pretty much everything that he says on his tweets. I went through them all actually. In preparation for this, I've
Really?
read the past
Dang.
2 years of his tweets. I say all past 2 years, but
I mean, that's a
there's a
lot.
shit
There's a
ton.
lot. Yeah.
Um, and I actually, if you'll humor me, I actually saved a few
Oh,
that I
please.
wanted to share with the listener. Some of my favorites along the way.
Yeah,
Um,
share with the class.
this one, and what I find so interesting is that he was able to tweet from prison. I'm like, what kind of prison is this? Where
Yeah.
this man is tweeting from prison? Uh, Nuts.
Yeah,
But
I was
does
curious
he get
about that
computer
too because I was
access
like,
or?
I'm like, he was in prison right before he died, and he was tweeting
Oh
like
yeah,
up
he's.
until then. So I'm like, what did you like? You just have a phone? You're just allowed to. That's a
They
chill
must
prison. I
get
want to
like
be in
computer
jail.
time. Oh yeah, Spanish
God,
Catalonian prison.
that sucks if you're gonna spend computer time just like logging into the shitty prison computer just to go on Twitter and say
It
something
still
insane.
has Windows 98 and
Yeah.
what is it like Netscape or some old ass browser or something. Yeah, so May 18th of this year, he tweeted top of the list of useless body parts, nipples on men. I agree. What's
Okay.
the point? What's
Sure.
the point? But you know, what was he thinking? What compelled him to say that at the time? Was he experiencing something in prison involving his nipples?
I had to get
You
that.
know?
That is a good point. Yeah, because if he's in jail, having that like that's not just like a. I don't know. I feel like shower thoughts aren't really a thing, right?
That's like most of his tweets, though. I feel like are shower thoughts. Another one from May 8th is, do ants fart? It's a non-trivial question. Collectively, ants weigh more than all other creatures on Earth combined. Look it up, he says.
Yeah.
If they do fart, then the people blaming global warming on cow flatulence need to get a grip. It's the ants we should worry about.
I mean, if ants fart, which I don't think they do, he might have a point. But I mean, they're like teeny farts, and
They're
they're in the
tiny, yeah.
ground. They're underground a lot of the time, so the Earth's absorbing the fart
It's
probably.
absorbing that methane, that
Yeah.
that greenhouse
Whereas like a
gas.
cow is going to be letting it rip a lot, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, do ants even poop?
I think everything poops, right? Everybody poops.
I know like spiders do because it's like white. Because like I know they do because I have spiders in my apartment. Um,
And
but
they regularly poop. And
well,
you
they're, like
you
because
clean
I
it up.
just know where they're sitting in their little webs and corners of places where they're eating all the bugs, and there's like white, like it looks like paint speckles, but it's not like on the floor. And I'm like, oh well, clearly that's probably the spider poop. If
Spider.
there was such a thing, I would assume there
Mm.
is. Do ants poop? Do ants poop?
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I would. I mean, I would
Is that what
assume
anthills
so.
are made out of? Maybe so. You know, because
Mm.
they kind of yes, ants poop. Oh, apparently they only poop in a specific location within their nest. Do ants fart? As another
Just like
question.
us, just like us. Save it for the toilet. Save it for the bathroom.
Oh, apparently they can't fart, and that's how some bug killers kill the ants because it causes the insecticide makes them blow up like balloons, and because they can't fart, they explode. So I'm sorry, John
Floating
McAfee.
ants.
Ants poop,
Yeah.
but they don't fart. But if you can poop, why
Um.
can't you fart?
I knew one girl who had never farted in her life. She
Really?
burped, but she was like,
Will
I've
not
never
fart.
farted. Yeah.
Did you like try and make her fart, or because if
No,
that
I
was
mean,
me,
I
like if
took
that was
her.
me, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna try and make you fart to the
We're gonna
best of my
put you on your
ability.
belly. We're gonna pop your back, and you're gonna rip one.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know if that's physically possible to have never farted. But I mean, I don't see why she'd be lying about that.
Yeah.
It's not something to lie about. But
No. But it is weird.
yeah. So, got another one. September 21st, 2020. A friend told me about Pornhub. Free porn. No, seriously. Three exclamation points. Very excited about this. Searched Eskimo kink. Always had a fascination. Don't ever do that. Eskimo kink. I mean, I'm not going to look it up on my work computer, obviously, but
Obviously. Are you
but
on your
now
work
I'm.
computer right now?
Of course I am. I don't have my other computer is a dinosaur. I mean,
That
it's
is
over 10 years
true.
old now. So,
Get a new fucking computer.
but then I think, what is the point when I have a perfectly good work laptop that
Because you can't game on the work laptop. Think of all the gaming you could be doing.
right.
You could play Minecraft
Makes
on my Minecraft realm. That's pretty fun.
I can't do that. I can't get addicted again.
But it's
I
fun.
it's it's like, an addict. I'm sober 8 years and I
But
have to
they've added
maintain that.
bees. You can make little bee farms,
That's pretty cool.
and they fertilize all your plants, or not pollinate, not fertilize. They pollinate your plants. Oh,
Yeah, that's what the
oh they
cows are for. The cows are fertilizing my plants. You know what I mean? Or maybe the ants. Ant
they
poop.
they updated the nether, and there's different nether biomes now instead of just the red everywhere. There's little
Yeah.
forests. There's a blue
Hmm,
forest.
that's pretty cool.
I'm saying
And I'm sure, I
Minecraft's
mean, the
pretty sick.
graphics, the
It looks
graphics
exactly the
now.
same.
Oh, it does.
They've like updated some textures, but I mean it's still just regular. It's still Minecraft.
I mean,
Everything's
well,
blocks.
of course that, but I'm just thinking like it's just gonna look even more crisp than
Yeah.
than
Yeah, that's
before. Maybe
true.
not,
Yeah.
but just a little more defined. Not the actual blocks themselves, but just just a crisper picture.
Oh, have you like seen the videos where people like use like super expensive gaming PCs to like render Minecraft with like ray tracing and stuff, so there's like realistic light? Oh, it's
Mm-mm.
insane. Those are look that up. It'll blow because it's like the computer required to like do that kind of shit like is nuts. And it looks.
Tell me what to search.
Uh, I'll see if I can just like. This is great content. Minecraft ray tracing. Hopefully that'll show something on Google. If I hate using Chrome. Minecraft ray tracing. What's that?
Speaking, going back to the N word, August 5th, 2020,
Uh oh.
John McAfee said, "Soon we will all be able to say the N word." Smiley face.
That's like threatening.
It is threatening. I don't think he was right. I think, in fact, he was very wrong. But he was. You can't say he wasn't a fighter. You know, he fought for his causes. Were they stupid? Absolutely, but he
But
fought for them.
he did fight for him.
And he was very. I will also say this: confirmed not racist against black people. Married to a black woman.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Loved black women. Talked about it a lot. His love for black women. So
Good for him.
good for him. Yeah.
Oh, his Twitter profile picture. It's him, and then the other half of it is a character from a certain anime, JoJo's
I was
Bizarre
gonna
Adventure.
ask.
Yeah.
Oh, that's from
Yep.
your show.
Well, it's not really my show anymore.
Oh.
I mean, I still like it, but it's. I'm waiting for when they animate the good parts for them to get to those. I didn't like the one that they did recently, and it's a whole thing. I don't want to get into it, but anime fans are annoying. Unlike me, who's very cool about it. A lot of people are very cringe and bad.
Well, I believe that.
It's
But yeah,
sad.
our this this individual was also, I don't want to say wanted. I mean, wanted for questioning,
Oh
but
yeah,
he
because he
was
did maybe
implicated
murder somebody. Who's to
in
say?
a murder. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for that? How do we feel? Did he do it?
I kind of doubt that he did, but I'm sure he's like such a sketch ball and like a weirdo that it's likely that he could have implicated himself in a murder that he didn't do. Also, very funny on his political party on Wikipedia is that he was a libertarian from before 2015 and then 2016 until present, and then for that middle chunk, he for a year he was part of the Cyber Party. I don't know what that is. There's not a link on Wikipedia that says what the Cyber Party is.
That sounds completely made up.
Oh, it's
And
because in 2015 he announces he's going to run for the White House as part of the Cyber Party that he made up. So I didn't even know he ran for president.
I thought he ran as a libertarian.
No, he ran as, well, maybe he did.
But he ran as a cyber.
Yeah, which he made up.
Whatever the hell that
So
means.
he fled the states and then was like, oh, hey, I'm actually going to run for president. What an insane person. I mean, this picture of him, he does not look well. He looks like a zombie.
Is this the Politico one?
Yeah. He doesn't look. He
Yeah,
does
I'm
not
on
look
that.
great.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, oof, I spoke too soon. And I saw this picture. He's probably on
Donald
bath
Trump looks
salts right
great.
here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's probably.
That's why, I'm not completely convinced that he didn't
Kill that
murder
guy?
his neighbor.
Yeah, maybe
Because
he was just tripping.
he was doing so many drugs at the time that he could have had no idea what was happening. And the neighbor apparently was concerned about him and like had complained about him before, saying he's firing his gun off and doing all kinds of wild shit, and something to be said for that. So who knows?
Well, we had a neighbor in Richmond who was always doing weird shit and screaming in his car or outside just at the neighbors. But he never did it. I mean, he beat his kids, but
He beat his kids.
yeah.
Oh, great.
And some of them
What a
one of them would run
stand-up father.
away, and then they'd have to he ran away enough that he got like the ankle bracelet, justifiably running away because bad guy. But
God, you had to live next to this person?
across the street, yeah,
Across the street. Wow, that sucks.
yeah, it was weird. So my dad got really into guns because he was afraid of the guy from across the street like pulling something.
Did he ever?
No, he never
Something?
did. But
Well, that's good.
but yeah, but you don't know until they do or don't. He still could.
Maybe
I
he
don't
has.
think that he would.
I was
at
gonna
this
say,
point.
maybe he has. Maybe he has since you left.
I mean, he really didn't like my mom or like two other neighbors, and the two other neighbors are still there and fine. And my mom's obviously doesn't live there anymore. So yeah, I think it's fine, probably.
Jeez.
That's
This guy
there's
sounds like
another bad boy. I'm not going to
a
knock
great
him,
neighbor.
but I mean, yeah, he's kind of a bad guy. Probably
He's a bad
weird
boy
thing to have
and
to.
criminal.
Yeah, yeah. The cops have been called on him a few times. I think that constitutes.
Beats his kids. Criminal.
Is that a criminal offense?
Did you say prostitutes?
No, the cops were called on his house a few times.
Oh.
Not prostitutes. I mean, he could. Maybe he did. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think so. He always had a bae. I don't beat my kids. Where's my bae, huh?
Well, being in an abusive relationship, those people were probably just afraid to leave him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his ex-wife left him. That's, which is who the kids are from. But he had different other.
Good for her.
Yeah. She's a nice lady.
I bet.
Yeah. Man, my child. That's a weird thing to grow up next to. Now that I think about it. I mean, not weird. It's just like, I don't know. Right? I mean, did you grow up across the street from that kind of stuff or like near it?
Well, I did grow up across the street from a son that killed his father.
Was it
the
justified
family,
or did he just
see? That's what I don't know. The family was divorced. The parents were divorced, of course,
course.
of course, that's how every story starts. And the son was living with the mom, and I guess weekends with the dad, every other weekend or whatnot. So he comes to pick the kid up, and the kid had a gun, I guess, from his mom, and shot him in the car 4 times. I heard the shots. We actually called the police. Yeah,
this is a bad boy crime. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of bad boy crimes in this one episode, and we barely talked about
the main. Well, you know what?
And that's the appeal of this podcast.
Yeah, but also, can I say fuck him, because he's a bad guy. So he doesn't deserve us to talk about him.
John McAfee?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not great.
He's a bad guy. So
he is a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
But not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way. Not that I mean, shooting your dad
This is fun.
isn't a fun way either, because he did die. The dad died.
I would assume you're shot 4 times, probably
Yeah,
pretty close range. That
yeah,
you don't come back from that
yeah.
typically.
And this kid was 12. 12.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm starting to. What did they? Did the kid get like jail
So
or?
yeah, he went to juvie, but he didn't go to big boy jail. Did not go, was not tried as an adult,
Yeah.
none of that. And he actually, he was out. I remember seeing him, um, when I was back from college. Like he was there, and I was like, oh my God,
Was he like a like? Did he
that's
seem like a
criminal.
normal kid or do you not
Hard to
know?
say.
Yeah.
I mean, hard to say. I didn't speak a single word to him,
Yeah.
obviously, because
He killed somebody. He killed his
he killed
dad.
somebody. Yeah, and like, not that, again, it could have been totally justified. This
Yeah.
man could have been abusing him. I have
Could have
no
been
idea.
diddling. We have no idea.
Could have been diddling. And if so, he got what he deserved.
Yeah.
Um, but if he didn't do anything wrong, then yeah, that's a really unfortunate situation. But this kid, I just see him, he'd like skateboard around sometimes, and
That's great. I mean, shit. Yeah.
he looked
Like a regular kid.
like a regular kid. I wonder, like, what happens to those people, like when they grow up. He's always gonna know that he killed his dad. Like, how
I'm sure. Well, I mean, in his
shit.
own mind, regardless of if it's justified or not, I'm sure he believes that it is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he made peace with it in juvie on some level. I'm sure he's fine. Maybe he's doing great. We should
I'm sure
get
he's
him on the
fine.
cast.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
unpack you murdering your dad. Why did you do that?
I do. Well, you know what? I do want to know. I'm absolutely curious what yeah, what drives a person to
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 do
do
that?
that.
Yeah.
And but and I don't know the whole situation because I never really followed up on it, and it wasn't like some big case or anything that would be, newsworthy. But the mom, is she liable for any of this? Because, the
How
kid
do you
had
get the
easy
gun?
access to the
Yeah.
gun. Um, that's always a sticky
You
situation.
dropped the
But
kid off theoretically to the dad, right? Like she was the not getaway. I mean, well,
no, no, no. She lived across from us.
yeah.
The dad was coming to pick him up
Oh, and then he just
from
walked out
her
of the house
house.
and capped him.
Yeah, I think he got in the car, and then
And then did it.
as he's starting to drive away, then he did it because the car like went up onto the sidewalk
Yeah,
a little bit.
that's crazy. That's so crazy that that happened
It was,
really
yeah, it was
close.
wild. And I was just, like looking out my window the whole time. And and now I will say, I think I'm paranoid now of any kind of like gunshot sound, because I just always assume it's a gunshot. Because I heard those
Right.
and I was
Yeah.
right. It actually was. I was like, I just heard gunshots. And, then I showed my mom. I was like, look, like that car is on the sidewalk. So we called the police. But
Oh, you guys called the
oh, we
police?
called the police. Yeah.
Oh shit! You're like
Yes. So I know.
a second hand or first hand account kind of.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
came they came to talk to us after.
that's
And
crazy. Did they? I mean,
yeah,
was the kid just like, yeah, I did it? Like,
probably. I mean, he's 12. He probably, yeah, I'm sure.
he's like, yeah,
I'm sure.
you want to be next?
Yeah, you're next, bitch. Yeah.
How long was he in juvie for? Just till he was 18? I don't know how that works because I didn't.
I don't think it was that long. I want to say maybe like 17, so like 5 years.
I mean,
But
that's not great, but you know,
yeah, I mean, I do think there's something to be said about kids.
everybody should be able to do 5 years for murder. I think that's what we're getting at here. Prison reform, baby.
I mean, things that you do as a kid. Can you like let's take for example, Billie Eilish is under fire right now. I don't know if you were aware, but some old videos of her saying a certain derogatory word that begins with C and ends with HINK.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
You can't say that one
You can't.
unless you're
And
referring to armor
yes.
in a way that it is damaged. You might say.
Yes.
Yes.
Um
And even then, no
that
one says that anymore either.
even then, who's wearing a suit of armor in this day and age?
This
And
guy.
oh my gosh.
I wish. I wish.
I just see your future house, and you've got your katana, and then you've got a suit of armor, and you
And
have no bays
I
ever.
have a big throne in an empty room, and I just sit there and I go, and I'm swiping.
Then you'll be lucky if anybody comes to your house at 2 a.m. with Taco Bell with a Baja Blast.
I mean,
You should be lucky.
people should be lucky that I'm in their life because I'm a delight in many ways, actually. I add value. I was thinking about this today. I was like, I'm a complete person by myself. Dang it.
Hmm.
And I only want a bae that's going to add value to my life and not one where in relationships past, and we don't even need to get into that. I've been adding value to theirs, but they did nothing for me, really. You know? I mean, you literally know.
Yeah,
I've told you about it a
I
million
I
times, and you
literally
were
know.
like, "Please break up with this person" ages before it actually happened.
Yeah, I still kind of feel, not to get like dark, but I
Yeah.
still feel kind of like, I feel kind of weird about that, you know? Like sometimes I look back and I think, did I did I cause someone to
Oh no,
like, okay.
no, not at all. I mean, like, and I'm the kind of person where like I talk to people about things and I like want like I know some people will ask for people's opinions and they just want their own feelings validated,
Yeah.
which I hate being the person to validate those like in that situation. Like, don't ask me for what I think if you just want to hear what you already believe. And so
Yeah.
like when I talk to people, like I do like getting other opinions, and I'm grateful, obviously, for your opinions as a friend of mine. But I'll still just
As
do
a
whatever I'm
close
gonna
personal
do.
friend.
Yeah, but I'm still
Yeah.
gonna do whatever I'm gonna do. And then
No, I feel that.
me and that person breaking up had, I wouldn't say like nothing to do. I should have done it earlier,
Yeah.
which we all agree on, and I think even she would agree about that too.
Okay,
Um,
well, good. Good. Yeah.
but
I don't want to be the bad boy in this,
no,
you know,
I
cuz
would never say that you were.
I I tend to be, I'm pretty quick
Dump them
on the dump
advice.
'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had this exact same thought this week about a friend of mine
Mm.
who was in a very similar situation to me, and I was like, "Look, buddy, I've been here." And he's like 20, so um, more of like a younger brother, like whatever.
Like, is this the one
I think
that you
yes,
went to the
yes,
graduation? Yeah.
exactly
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
So I'm like, look, man, I've been in this situation, like basically exactly. If you're getting yelled at for the stuff you're getting yelled at for, and she's like hoping that you feel the pain that she feels when you're not even doing anything that wrong, as far as what you're telling me is true, and I believe you. Like, I don't think you're a bad guy. So, like, you can't this is not going to ever work based on what you're
Yeah.
telling. You've been dating this person for a year and a half. This is never going to change at this point. So like,
You're too young.
what
Bro. Cut it
happened?
off.
I shouldn't even be telling other people's shit on here, but it's so late into the episode, and we also should wrap it up because I need to take a shower and wash this fucking super glue off of me as best as I
Oh
can.
yeah.
Although I've done a great job of peeling it off during this episode.
Nervously peeling while.
Not nervous, just it's just so uncomfortable. It's like it's worth ripping off, you know.
Mm.
But a girl in like one of his like labs or something, I don't know, was like asked him to go on a hike. Like, just, hey, would you want to go on a hike? I don't know the exact context, but he was like, yeah, sure. Like, and he made it clear to that person. He's like, well, yeah, like, you know, we can go as friends. That's fine. And then like he went to his girlfriend, well, ex at this point, and was like, I did, like, I told her I'd go on this, but now I'm thinking like maybe she thought it would be like she thought it was a date when she asked me, so like I feel weird and like I don't really want to go anyways, so like how should I get out of it? And then she basically took him saying all of that as like, oh, so you basically almost cheated on me. And he's like, no, like what? Right? Like that's completely an insane thing to.
Yeah, I mean,
like I get it. I've been in the situation where you say something like semi-adjacent. I've been through it.
You have been through some shit where I've just been like, my God, are you allowed to do anything?
And the answer was no. And now I'm allowed to do everything. And there's nobody to do things with because everybody left. Or is too busy having a fucking kid, or is too busy riding horses and is dating a gang member that wants to kill me.
And can't hang out with you for that exact reason because, yeah.
So,
well,
cool.
I mean, there is some. Not all women are jealous, but I feel like most of us are.
There's an acceptable.
There's an acceptable
amount, and then when you go above it, it's like, at least for me, I'm like, I can't fucking
because
deal.
he didn't actually do anything.
He didn't even go on the thing yet. He could have just been like, oh, like, and if he wanted to do something, why is he telling you about it?
Yeah.
If he's like, hey, I did this, but like now I'm thinking I shouldn't. Like, what do you think? And she's like, oh, like, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, well, like, don't go. Like, just say you don't want to go, or do go, and just be clear. I don't, whatever. If you don't want to go in the first place, then don't fucking go. Then it's
if you don't want to go, don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go because you want to go on a hike, and you could, you just be like, well, does she know, your intentions that it would just be friendly because you have a girlfriend? If so, okay,
like cool. Go on a hike, whatever. Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. That's the reasonable, So him telling me all this
she's too young though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's going to take her years to get out of that.
Yeah, probably.
It's a similar situation where she was, has the same thing where you're traumatized so much you become a villain, and then you have bad person disease, BPD, and then it can't be helped.
And that's just, I've got a friend with a similar condition.
Yeah.
The same letters. And, a lot of the times it's used as an excuse for things. And I'm like, at what point do we say this is just your fault? You're just a bad person.
Yeah. It definitely is used as an excuse a lot.
Like clearly, I don't want to make it sound like it ain't an issue. That this is a real thing, real disease.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
However,
there's. I mean, I learned this in 7th grade. Weldon Bradshaw. He's like, there's a difference between like a reason and an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't give excuses, give reasons. So like, if I was like being a shitty friend or like doing a bad job at something, I could use a reason being my brain sucks because of mental illness, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm still holding myself accountable for it. Like, I'm still like, these are the reasons why this happened the way it did. But like, I'm not excusing that behavior. I'm just telling you why. And like, I'm still holding myself accountable for that. Whereas a lot of people with a certain set of letters, they don't do that at all. Cause we don't need to get into my opinions about borderline people, because everyone listening to this already knows what they are based on everything that I say. They're bad people. That's why it's called bad person disease.
Bad people disease. Yeah. Ooh, goodness.
Ooh, fired up.
I don't, this was hard because I feel like separately we're funny people, but together we just get so serious.
Good. No, but I think it's been a different vibe that I think people might appreciate.
Will they? I mean, I hope so, but I'm here to entertain. Like, I want the listeners to be entertained, and I hope they're entertained. But we're not given the laughs per second that you and Skillshy do, so
I don't think we are. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, like being, because you're in the unique perspective of listening and then also being on the podcast, which, because I don't listen to this ever, but I'll be like doing an episode.
You never listen to the episode ever?
Never.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't
now
either.
Now that I'm not editing them. No, we just upload it,
set it and forget it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is how we've been getting them out once a week. Unlike last year where it was like once a month, maybe. But like, I'll record an episode and be like, man, like I'm not funny and like this sucks, and people will be like, oh, that was nice. And I'm like, oh,
that was nice.
I'm like, clearly I'd have no gauge on what people like or what, just because I say something that wasn't meant to be a joke doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't enjoyable or funny or whatever word you want to use. So don't think about it. It's fine. It's fine. And they're getting almost 2 hours worth of content.
I know. Like, should we warn them in the beginning? Like, hey, stay for the first hour. If you want,
dip out an hour or two.
Yeah. We'll talk about John McAfee for a total of 5 seconds, and then
do whatever. Yeah.
It's back to depressing shit.
No, I think people
thrown in.
I think people like that. This is going to be a new side of me that I don't think has been on the podcast too much.
It's less of a bit.
I've been a lot more genuine.
This is the real coach.
Sort of. It's still a little silly.
Well, everything do is a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is always, yeah.
But I'm keeping it real. Like if I had a chair that was, I can get one of those chairs, I would turn it around and be like, I'm keeping it real. I did that at the company happy hour. I did at the company happy hour. That's how I sat on. It was it was on a.
Y'all had a happy hour.
A Zoom happy hour.
Oh my god.
We did trivia. Okay, so let's litigate this and then maybe bring this bird in for a landing. But one of the questions one of the things, it was Jeopardy. So it was like the blank is the most popular topping for pizza. What would you say that would be?
Most popular topping? Mm-hmm. Pepperoni.
Okay, so everyone seems to think that it's pepperoni other than me. And pepperoni was the right answer. But I put cheese. Because technically...
cheese isn't a topping.
But you can get a pizza without cheese.
As I do.
As you do, right?
As I do, yeah.
So for you, it would be a topping, kind of. It is. It goes on top of a pizza. I was thinking too hard about it.
You're thinking way too hard. Here's the thing. I think about Domino's. I'm ordering a pizza online Domino's.
It comes default, yeah.
There's the first step, you pick the size. You say, what do I want? Second part, you say the sauce and the cheese. Third step, toppings. Completely different step to get to the toppings. So, therefore, cheese is not topping.
They also said the most popular. Well, what's the most popular barbecue in Austin? Would you say?
like barbecue restaurant
Yeah.
or ooh, I don't know. I mean,
If
like
you just throw out a guess. I'll tell you what I guess, and I'll tell you what the answer is.
I'll just say the Salt Lick.
Okay. I said Rudy's because I was like, not necessarily any one particular Rudy's, but the fact that there's
There
a
are a lot of
bajillion
them.
of them, and they're probably serving more people a day, at least collectively,
Hmm.
than any of one of those other locations.
Oh,
Therefore,
absolutely.
it would be the most popular one. Apparently, it's Franklin's.
Well, see, and that's where I have an issue because what I was going to say was, well, if we're talking about best barbecue, Franklin barbecue is always rated number 1.
Right, but
But
you
if we're
can't get
talking
that many
about
people physically in it, so how could it be the
you
most popular?
well, exactly. Yeah, if you're measuring it by how many people have walked through this door and ordered barbecue,
Yeah,
then it has to be a chain like Rudy's
Rudy's,
or Bill Miller's or something where there's,
Pokey
like you said,
Joe's,
a
yeah.
bajillion. Pokey Joe's, there's so many of them that, yeah, they're churning out people constantly. But,
Right, because like
and
that
yeah,
is, you know,
I don't like that question.
I
I don't like that question. That's a Jeopardy question. Who made this? Who made this Jeopardy?
I
Alex, this ain't Alex Trebek.
no, I'll
But it was made, yeah,
yeah,
by
by
yeah, by
people, not
staff.
yeah.
It wasn't okay.
Yeah, the
Well, was
categories
the
were like stuff around Austin, like what's trending, but like so like
hmm,
news stuff that happened during the year. Like one of them was the
current
like
events?
Josh Battle Royale thing, not like current events,
Oh,
but like
yeah,
quirky things that you'd see on Facebook. Uh, that's
Reddit current events.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was food and drink and
Hmm.
general knowledge. I didn't do great, but I didn't do the worst. There's
Who
nothing
did the
about any
worst?
true crime. Somebody I don't know actually. Like a new
Hmm.
person. I don't know if they're
Oh,
an intern or if they are just working remotely. I've never met them, but the name didn't ring a bell. So
hmm. Wow. Well, I was watching some real Jeopardy, and you know
R.I.P.
what I realized? Holy shit, I could never be on Jeopardy. And I love trivia. I
Yeah.
could never be on Jeopardy.
Why?
It, I don't know anything. Do they okay, do they give them the topics ahead of time? Do they know the categories?
I
Because
feel like they have to.
they
I feel
have
like
to. They
I mean because
have
that's how it
to.
is with like I mean kind of a vastly different example, but it sort of works. Iron Chef America, like they're given
Mm,
sets of secret ingredients that it could be,
that it could be.
like, and then they don't know what the exact one is going to be, but it's like one of five or something. So that
But you have enough, you
you
have
have
time
stuff
to
in advance that you could
prepare.
get stuff for all of
Yeah.
them, so that you just have the one, and it's not like you're making all that stuff up on the spot because that's insane.
Yeah. Maybe yeah, maybe they do the same thing
So,
for
yeah, they
Jeopardy.
probably give
Maybe
you
there's
like
like
10 categories and they pick I don't know.
yeah. Cuz I mean this one guy and oh man, it was so creepy. His his smile, he just oh, bless his heart. He looked so awkward. Um first the whatever season they have on Netflix right now. Everybody go watch it. Go look out for this creepy guy. Tell me what you think. But he's just rattling them off. And I'm just like, how could one person know this much? Although I will say this, then he missed like some easy music question. I'm like, okay, so you don't know who Billy Joel is, or something.
Well, I
It
probably
was
would miss those too
crazy.
because I know nothing about music, famously.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
Dude,
not.
I almost bought I've turned into such a piece of shit. I almost bought the the newest Twice album at Barnes and Noble today.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but it's like $40. And
Oh,
apparently they
that's
like
terrible. That's
it
so
comes
wrong.
with
Don't do that.
like others like it comes with collectible shit,
Hmm.
which is and like apparently like it's like Pokemon cards where it's like you don't get all the collectibles shit, so you have to buy multiples to like get all of the special photos of all the bays. Although I do like some of their new album that I've listened to. I haven't listened to all of it. I'm turning into a real Twice stan. If they like were here in concert, I would see them, which is saying a lot for me because
Do they ever? I feel like I see like the K-pop boy bands come around
way
here,
more,
but not really the girl groups very much.
Very
they
sexist,
have
very sexist.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you think of the people who are listening, and it's mostly like 13-year-old girls, and
they drive the music industry.
Yeah. So, and who do they want to see? BTS. Or
did you get the BTS meal at McDonald's?
No, I haven't been to McDonald's in a hot second. Actually, I was just at McDonald's, so that was a complete lie.
You could have gotten at least the sauces. You don't have to get the meal. You can just get nuggets and then get the sauces.
I didn't eat though. We just I got a frozen Coke because they had frozen Coke.
Was that good? This is great content.
Well, okay, we'll wrap it up after this, but yes, it was
okay because
it's like an actual Coke. Yeah.
And I'm like, is it like
I see.
Yeah, Emmy's, she's here.
There she is. I was wondering because she wasn't around. Aw.
Did you hear her a little bit?
I could hear it, yeah.
Emmy, you're on the podcast.
She's so cute.
What do you think about that? Oh, okay.
She's famous. She's like,
no
pictures, please.
Dozens of people are going to hear that.
Dozens. I don't know about that. Dozens? Maybe dozen.
Hey, it's
people.
It's more than a dozen.
Is it really?
If they're going to well, let's see how many people get to the 2-hour mark to hear a little bonus Emmy content.
Well, what if here's a thought. You do a little edit Reno.
I'm not editing this.
And I need to
upload this in 2 hours.
You just cut it in half. And you do the first half until no? Okay.
I'm just gonna upload this literally as soon as we stop recording. We're gonna figure out how to upload it, and we'll schedule it to upload at midnight my time, which is an hour later than what we usually do. But I'm uploading it. I can decide whatever I want.
Yeah, at first I was like, your time is my time. So
I meant
yeah, with Skillshy.
On that east coast, east side.
Oh, he's an hour ahead. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
The guests that we've had, other than you, well, no, because we had Truck. I think is also Central Time or East Coast, but the comedian people have all been West Coast. So scheduling is a nightmare.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. That's a
3 different time zones is tricky. Yeah. Well, King Curtis, do you have anything to plug? I don't think that you do.
No, I have no socials. I mean, I did just get an Instagram account.
Oh,
so
you should follow my Instagram. I mean, you should just follow my Instagram so I can follow your Instagram.
Yeah, I'll find you.
Yeah.
Mine's
actually my Instagram is now is my regular name.
Wow. So yeah, mine is my name, but just like backwards, last name, first name.
Nice.
Had to change things up a little bit.
Curtis King. But, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Listen to Skillshy's music. Little skill on Spotify. You listened to it. You enjoyed it.
I listened to it. I thought it was good stuff. Yeah, he's got some. He shouldn't
be.
Sure.
He shouldn't be so shy about his skills. Am I right, folks? Yeah, and I don't have anything. I'll have Pokemon videos out soon.
No Pokemon videos?
I have like 6 that I need to do. Well, I'm waiting on. I have a really good one, but I'm waiting for a thumbnail. and that my thumbnail guy is dropping the ball, but he's the one who's going through a bit of a thing that we talked about earlier.
Oh, that's your thumb.
Yeah,
That's
so
your guy.
you know he's got time, you know, and he does it for free, so I can't be too needy. But I have a few Pokemon videos, and some of them are pretty good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And any
4th of
streams that you
Lo-Fi 3 is going to be out on 4th of July.
Wow.
I still have yet to start working on it.
You should do a live stream of that on your
On
next...
my Twitch? No.
No. Sorry, I meant you should stream that during like your recording of your next podcast.
Maybe. We'll see how it turns out. Force everyone to listen to it.
Which president is it going to feature?
Oh, it's going to be Sleepy Joe, of course.
Sleepy Joe.
He's given us so much material. It's topical, you know.
Is he? I don't really keep up these days, you know.
He says a lot of weird shit.
I'm sure Trump level. Is it funny? Is it good? Like Trump?
It's different than Trump, but I still think he's pretty funny.
Good.
But hopefully there's
That's
enough.
what we want. We don't want a president.
I don't want a good
that
president.
Doesn't make a fool of himself.
I want a funny president.
Of course.
I want a senile old man. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I again haven't gotten any clips. Haven't really thought about this that much, but 4th of July is in a week, and I need something to distract myself from being sad. So,
jeez,
that'll be it. That's what artists do. That's what artists do.
The creation comes from pain, and that's you really just need to.
That's all I've got.
Hone in on that, on that hurt and despair.
Truly, why are we still here? Just to suffer. All right. Well, and with that. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everyone. I've enjoyed it, and you'll probably never hear from me again. So. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Bye.